Hi, I am Sanjeev Chauve from St. Gobain. Welcome to NTPL online interior glazing program. Today we will discuss about glass fixing accessories in interior glazing application. The objective of this program is to understand the product portfolio of glass fixing accessories, then the method of application, and then selecting the right products as per the standards of the industry. So, let us first understand the product portfolio of this category. When it comes to the glass fixing, the first and most commonly product comes in picture is silicone. So, there are two types of silicone. One is known as the colored silicone, which is available in black, grey and white color. The another category is a clear silicone. So, we will discuss in detail that what kind of silicone, what are the standards. Then the second product comes in is known as double sided tape, which is commonly used for a fast fixing solution in industry for lacquer glass as well as mirror. Then the third product comes in this category is known as clear partition tape, which is commonly used for a glass partition, because nowadays most of the partition in office space is being done by the help of glass. So, there we need some kind of solution which can be used for a glass partition. So, there we use this clear partition tape. Then product comes in is basically a masking tape. Masking tape is a supporting element to use with this silicone as well as this mirror mounting tape. We will discuss in detail that what kind of standards are there for these products and how the product needs to be applied to the glass for a better result, for a better aesthetics and without compromising on this standards. So, first we will understand what happens when we do not use a right product and a right method of application of glass fixing solution. So, we will see through a few defects which comes in this category. The first defect, which is known as mirror corrosion. Now, why this mirror corrosion is happening is again because of incompatible adhesive. When I say incompatible adhesive, it means the adhesive which is being used to fix that glass was not compatible to the back paint, because any of the lacquer glass which comes under this category has some kind of coating at the back of that glass. If that adhesive is not compatible to that paint, of course it will react with that paint and it will take off that paint from that back painted glass surface. Result is in front of you can see the corrosion is happening in at the back of the mirror. So, this is the most common defect coming in this category, which is happening because of an incompatible adhesive used at the back of the glass or while fixing the glass. Second defect comes in this category, again is a bigger picture of that defect, which is known as paint removal. A larger surface of that paint is being removed. Again, what the reason behind this is the same thing, the incompatible issue or the improper application of that adhesive. Because of that, the paint get removed from that surface, causing a bad aesthetics appeal which should not be there. Then the third pictures, you can see there are 4 different type of glass placed here. You can see everywhere there are some defect at the back of the glass surface. These all glass surface defects are happening because of the incompatible adhesive used in this category. So, let us have a look on this common defects which are coming in this area because of incompatible adhesive used or improper way of application of glass fixing accessories. As you can see, the first is as corrosion happening because of the improper application of the adhesive. The second you can see is mirror corrosion, that is again because of incompatible adhesive used in fixing mirror. The third you can see paint peeling off. Here the most common defect which is being happening in this area is because of incompatibility of adhesive used. So, these problems are basically alarming us not to compromise on standards. So, while going for this glass fixing accessories, we need to look into some standards which are set by this industry. So, let us have a look on the standards. What are those standards which need to be adhered while going for a glass fixing accessories? The first standard comes in picture is known as the VOC compliant. 90% of the products which is being used in this glass fixing category are mostly VOC emitting products. When we say VOC emitting product means they will be emitting volatile organic compounds, which is ultimately going to hamper the internal environmental. I mean the air in which we are going to breathe in will be hampered because of this VOC components. I will explain you in detail. The second components comes is bond strength. While fixing a glass, bond strength is very critical category, very critical element to look into it, because if the strength is not proper, the glass will get down after a period of time, resulting glass crack or maybe the glass breakage even. The third category, the third element which comes in the compatibility, which is again the most critical element of this glass fixing solutions. If that glass fixing adhesives or the tape which is being used is not compatible to the back paint, again it will take off that paint and it will result in a bad aesthetic appeal of that interior structure. Next, the things come in amount of adhesive which is being used, because if we are using less amount of adhesive, again it is not going to fix the glass in a proper way. If we are going to use the higher amount of adhesive, the undulation, the unbalancing thing will happen at the back of the glass, again resulting in glass breakage or glass getting down from the placed area. So, we need to look into this area. Then the adhesive application, the way we are applying adhesive, that is also critical element of this glass fixing category. So, all these critical elements need to be taken care of when we are going to select a glass fixing accessories or any of the glass fixing products. So, let us start first with silicones. As I shared with you, silicones, there are two type of silicones available in market. One is the colored silicone. Colored mean to say there is a variety of color which commonly comes in black, grey or white. Then the third another category is known as clear silicone. So, depending on the application of the product, this different type of silicone can be selected, can be opted. We will discuss what kind of silicone when to be used. So, when we are going to say silicone, the first component as we discussed, that VOC compliant. The silicones must be of neutral base. When I say neutral base, actually in market there are different type of silicones available. Mostly silicones comes under the acetoxy category. When I say acetoxy category, means while applying on the back painted glass, on the painted glass, it will react with that paint and emit some VOC compliant with some acidic background, which will again hamper the interior environment, the air quality of interiors, which is not good for our health. So, the recommendation here considering this VOC compliant is we must use silicone which is of neutral base, or that category or that grade is known as alkoxy. So, one is acetoxy which is going to emit acids, the another is alkoxy which is basically going to emit alcohol based smell, which is not that long lasting. It will disappear in a period of time and there is no hazardous impact on our interiors, I mean atmospheric air. So, the recommendation here is we should use alkoxy silicones. Then the second point comes in bond strength. So, as we discussed, higher the bond strength, higher the life of the glass stability. So, the recommendation here is the glass bond strength of this fixing adhesive must be of 450 kPa, because if the higher the strength, it will hold the glass properly and it can hold the higher thickness of glass as well. Mostly glass in this category is used of 4, 6 or maybe 8 mm of thickness. So, 450 kPa bond strength is more than enough to hold that much of glass thickness. The next point comes in is basically the compatibility. The compatibility part covers two aspects. One, the silicone which is going to be used must be compatible with all kind of glasses. When I say all kind of glasses, means mirrors which have a different kind of back coating. Then the back painted glass which has a different kind of back painted. So, the silicone which is going to be used in this category must be compatible with mirror as well as back painted glass. Apart from the material where it is going to be used, there is a substrate compatibility. When I say substrate, means the surface where we are going to fix the glass. You can see here the first, as I discussed, mirror which is a object, which is an object where the glass fixing solution need to be applied. Second, plywood which is basically a substrate. So, when you are selecting a silicone, it must be compatible with plywood as well as fiber cement as well as MDF board, because the substrate varies from customer to customer, project to project. Few people will use plywood, few people will use MDF board, few people will use raw wall, I mean the fiber cement thing. So, whatever the fixing accessories coming in picture must be compatible with all kind of substrate. Next to the substrate, the things come in silicone is the colors available in this market. So, basically there are three type of colors available in the silicone category. Number one is black, then grey and then white. So, it depends on the application that where we are going to use the silicone, that color will be chosen as per that. Let us say if we are going to use silicone in exterior category, mostly we will be using black silicone. where the color is going to match the glass, or we need not to see the partition. The second category, like gray and white, mostly being used in back painted glass. When we are going to fix a mirror or a back painted glass, we can use this white and gray category. Clear silicone is mostly used when the clear glass is being fixed, so that clear silicone will match to the clear glass and will maintain better aesthetics. Then apart from this, most important thing is coming the curing time. Whenever we are going to select silicone, curing time is the most critical time. Curing times means how much time it will take to hold the glass with the substrate. Hold the glass means fix the glass. Initially when we are going to fix the glass, we will fix it up with the help of silicone, then we will place masking tape so that it will hold the glass for some time. After that it will be cured. So that time which is being taken to cure that silicone, to fix that glass, to hold that glass to the substrate, should be very less. In market we can see that there are silicones available from 8 to 24 hours, whereas the recommended time is 8 to 9 hours. The silicone which is considering 8 to 9 hours curing time is considered as a good silicone, whereas the holding time, support time should be around 2 to 3 hours. So that glass can be placed and that can be supported with the help of masking tape. That I will show you in videos, in the installation video, where we will understand in detail that how this fixing time and this curing time is going to happen with this application. Then another part of this silicone uses is related to the weather. As we discussed, in this category, paint is involved and that silicone involves some adhesive, mounting tape also involves some adhesive. So all these adhesive must be weather compatible. It means there should not be any impact of inside or outside weather conditions. Like in rainy season, if some moisture is coming, it should not get peeled off, it should not get detached from the substrate or from the mirror part. So the silicone which is being used in this category must be a weatherproof silicone. That is again one considerable element of this silicone specification.